Should we throw a song on here too?
So what?
A song on the intro, another one?
Oh, I mean, I think I got one in mind actually.
Okay.
I forgot what it's called.
They haven't taken the last one down. I think it's because I looped just like I just did a 4-bar loop. So maybe that's the way to get around it.
Who knows, bro? They got crazy technology now. You can literally have like one chord, and they'll strike your shit down, whether it's YouTube, Spotify.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how they have technology to look for a chord in the song or a certain melody or a stem. Like you look for a certain stem, and then like they strike it down. But then on Instagram, you got fucking bots trying to offer you fucking Sheep coin or fucking whatever the fuck it's called. The other one, Dogecoin.
Shiba
trying to offer you financial
Dogecoin.
advice. Yeah, Shiba Inu coin, like all that bullshit. Or they have the fake like porn bots trying to attack you.
Yeah.
Or even Instagram striking down like live streams, which is a pain in the ass,
That's
right?
annoying. That's annoying. So I'm not going to play the big tracks anymore when we go live. Like if I play any of the big old school tracks, it always shuts it down because I guess those are owned by big labels.
Yeah, but I don't want to limit myself and be like conscious of what I'm doing if I'm recording like live sets. Like I think this actually brings a great idea, creating an app that doesn't strike this down, that doesn't get greedy, that lets it go. I mean, I'm sure the record labels will come at your neck eventually.
Mixcloud.
But Mixcloud. You got to pay. You got to be a user of Mixcloud. Like you don't have that reach like social media does, like Instagram or whatever. But inviting all like artists, like think about the pandemic, right? So many artists use different routes, and like the rules were a little bit looser, right? Like you had Tory Lanez doing the quarantine radio, you had DJs on Twitch, you had DJs throwing sets down, like local New York DJs throwing sets down, making like strippers strip on the dual like live, right? Then you had like house music DJs throwing down sets. So they also had like I think they had like a Beatport set where they had like various different DJs spin like to different slots. They would just like stream from their house and probably send like a little crew, or they probably told them what to do, something like a packet with all like the camera and shit. Mm-hmm. But then there you go, you got Beatport involved, who has all the rights to that music they're gonna play. So what's gonna happen? They're gonna strike you down. So it really depends. Like the little guy will always get fucked, whether it's with taxes, with the government, with the corporations. Like you get screwed. And that's kind of what's happening, to us, right? We live stream on Instagram, and then you get just struck down, right? It ruins your set, and then sometimes you keep an archive what you recorded, right? That's a pain.
That's annoying.
So then you got YouTube. YouTube will copyright strike your channel in 2 seconds if they can. They just can't wait to get rid of a creator. Like, you know what I mean? I'm telling you, they really do. Twitch, I think, has the loosest rules in terms of copyright issues. But then again, they have rules like these kind of like anti-bullying rules, and you can't like say certain things on it. Not like we're going to be talking on there. Do anything, but you say a certain word that's, I wouldn't say derogatory, but a little bit not politically correct, you're gonna get slapped around by them as well. So like I think it would be great to use like one of these apps that are, I don't know too much about this stuff, but kind of some independent, like kind of on a server, like even for example, like people that sell like kind of edgy merch, right? They'll get kicked off of Shopify. Then they try to do their own thing. Yeah. Oh, like a good example is that guy, what's his name? Asshole is Forever. That guy Slut Whisperer or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
He got kicked off of Shopify. So then he invested in his own server, his own, like he found like a different kind of CRM or whatever they use to kind of manage this stuff, or like an AS400, like inventory management and like a sales management kind of application that hosts his stuff, right? You get so easily canceled depending on these companies deciding whether or not that's okay in the court of their corporate opinion, if you will. Copyright strikes kind of make sense. I'm with the artist, kind of, right? You want to get paid for what you're doing. You want to get paid. You want to get credit for what somebody is playing. But then again, like
they should have figured that out already.
Exactly, and pay them something, because if I bought the track of a Beatport, I'm supporting you already. And then you're gonna chastise me for it? Like, sure. The whole premise of it is for me to DJ, this track and play it in high quality in the WAV form. Like I said, have that quality of a track on it, but like find out, like even Spotify should add like some certain element for that for some like some creators, right? Like let's just say You know what's smart for Spotify to do? When an album drops, a lot of rappers have a listening party. Why not live stream it? And you can listen to the album, and each track that the listening party goes through, it gets released on Spotify throughout slowly but surely. That's genius. You know what I mean? To add as a feature. You already have podcast streamed on there. Why not do that? It's just an option, not that you have to do it.
Well, you know what you can do on Spotify Anchor? Like if we're doing a podcast, let's say we're doing a music podcast where we want to talk about like the top, I don't know, 5 tracks that we're feeling right now. So we'll talk about maybe these first 10 minutes we talked about one track we liked, or 1 minute we talk about a track that we like. Then we can actually, in post-production on Anchor, we can take that track, because Spotify bought Anchor, so they have the whole catalog there. So I can take that track that we talked about and put it under this clip. But it has to be it's the full track. And it's a separate track. So it can't be like while we're talking or anything like that. So it's basically like a radio show, which is kind of corny. I'd rather play shit as we're talking, talk about the track as it's playing. But you can't really do that without, you're definitely going to be struck down by Spotify, which is silly. I don't know. It's music that's on Spotify already. Just pay the creator of that track, or the label.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to get into like the breakdowns of how much they get per stream, right? That could count as a stream if I play on. That's the genius part. It'll be a stream if it's on my pod. It'll be streamed, and then whoever's listening to the pod will have the stream of the song. Like that's going on to it, so that adds a stream and a bit more revenue to the artist. So I don't get the logistics behind it. I mean, maybe we could do a bit more research and do a deep dive on these pods, like how that works.
Something about the labels. It's always something with the labels that they don't want to do.
Yeah, because it doesn't really trickle down straight to the artist, right? There's so many 360 deals that they have that the labels are making that money, not the artists. So they're going to be greedy about it. I mean, the record labels are really like, super, super crazy. Like, I don't know if you heard about how they were getting life insurance policies on some rappers.
Yeah.
When they were getting signed to cover their, insure their investment, which is like crazy. They treat them, like objects, record labels in general. But I think it's a bit more of a dirtier game in like the hip hop, pop, I guess top 40, I guess genres, or I'll just say top 5 genres. It's a bit where there's a lot of money invested into it versus kind of, I'll just say, I'm going to use the term, loosely, EDM, right? EDM definitely has that traction, but like maybe 10%, 15% have that kind of focus where they say, we got to get a life insurance policy on like this XYZ artist, So, yeah, I mean, it's whatever. They're going to keep fucking the little guy and not have the proper content until you make it, the big leagues. Then they'll let you slide on certain things. Like, if you're like a Joe Rogan level person or, whatever the top pods are in the world that kind of like break the rules. Like Joe Budden, right? Using that example, JBP pod, they play, right? They play sleepers, 3 songs at the end of the pod. So I don't really think you get struck down like doing that. Well, actually, So Spotify, I think, because he had a deal with them, they let him do it still. But on YouTube, whenever they would play music, they would mute the music. So the YouTube stream would have it muted. And then the Spotify stream had the full music. But I was more of a visual guy with his pod. Because like the jokes and shit like that back in the day, I'd want to see, just the room reaction. So I had to sit there through the quietness and be like, I came in here to sleepers. They would do a separate segment with the sleepers, like a separate video, so it doesn't strike down the pod. So if there's like a separate segment with the sleepers was messed up, then, they would have a way to derive it. They could always save the pod, but then the sleeper videos gets like canceled or it gets cleared by YouTube. They also played a lot of like underground shit, unreleased shit. So like record labels will strike it down, but then there's like just some like crazy, probably AI bot or script that searches the stuff. So eventually, you could have some content out for 4 months or 4 years, and then they'll come back all the way to those 4 years and say, you got to strike on your YouTube for that, I think it's a little bit looser on Spotify. So like if we're going to start playing music on the pod, which I think is a great idea to add as a segment, we should test it with Spotify. Okay, they strike down the pod. Okay, sucks. Well, next time we learn the lesson. We
Yeah,
should do
or
that
I'll just
actually.
go back. I'll go back and take out the songs.
That too.
I'll
Yeah, I
just
really don't think they have that level of AI on Spotify's
no,
tracking the.
they do, bro. Because when I first started, remember when I was doing those mixes? I said I was going to do one every day. So
Yeah.
when Spotify didn't own Anchor yet, but with Anchor you can release to Spotify, but it was supposed to be podcasts. But I did mixes, and when Spotify bought Anchor, a couple weeks later they shut that account down, and I emailed customer service and I said, hey, why did you shut the account down? And I knew why. They said, oh, because it's music, and terms of service say no music. I said, okay, well, can I download my mixes? They said, yeah, we'll reopen your account for 24 hours. Download all your mixes, and I downloaded them right away. But yeah, they shut down, like they canceled that account. I couldn't even delete the mixes and then just keep that name. It was like, you're done with this. But how stupid is that? It's on Spotify. Songs that are on Spotify.
Yeah, I think that's why like you don't see any DJs putting out their sets on
No, you can't.
Spotify.
You can't.
But
It should be. There should be. Defected does it.
oh, that's right. But they're smart. They split it out by the track, right? There's the intro, which is
Yeah.
like Sam Divine talking or whoever the hell
Yep.
is like running the mix, and then each track is already loaded on Spotify, and they break it out like that. That's genius. But the fact is also huge. They probably have a deal with Spotify to release that stuff.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
release these
Definitely.
playlists. There's a whole shit ton of stuff that's there. They have the
Shit ton
special
of defected.
radios. Like there's a lot. I mean, I hate it because like
Yeah.
of course they do the courtesy of letting you know if the track is mixed with the parentheses
Mm-hmm.
on it. That's not a bad idea to how to do it, right? For that level of exposure. And the fact is like a worldwide kind of brand. Like, you hear like
Yeah.
Aussies loving it, probably play in the background somewhere in like, Thailand or some shit. And like, Europe's all about it, in the US, who knows, like Sam
Mm-hmm.
Divine comes here like once a year or whatever. There's no like label showcase, here for them. I mean, Sam Divine doesn't own it. It's the other guy. I forgot his name.
Simone, something like that.
Yeah. Simone something.
He just stepped down. He said.
Oh, yeah?
So I read. Yeah, he
Interesting.
stepped down, and his partner or somebody under him is taking over as CEO.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, he's a DJ too. That guy, defected.
No, yeah, no, I know he's a DJ. He's a legend in like the DJ world.
Yeah.
I just didn't. I don't know why. I always thought like Sam Divine was the face of Defected. I really don't pay attention to something like that. Like some of the track releases they have are awesome. It's a nice little background like music you can have, especially for Spotify. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
to have a set. Like I hate like my car has an installed Spotify app, so I hate like doing the fucking Bluetooth, then
Mhm.
hooking up, a set from like SoundCloud. I mean, I do it, right, to review like some music that I made or a set that I recorded and just to give it the car test, but just annoying. It's stupid inconveniences, right? First world problems.
Mhm.
I'm just saying. So, I mean, yeah, I think we get away with it a little bit. You know what I mean? Like 30-second clips, maybe do a little research and just see like what works. I'm sure there's a lot of articles or people complaining about it. Like there's so much content around hip hop now, like in terms of like reviewing songs, stuff like that.
And podcasts, like the what's that? Oh, there was one with Pop Smoke. They do really complex.
Oh,
They
but
did
yeah, that's like a whole
and they play.
beast.
I know, and I know, but within their podcast, they play clips of songs. But yeah, obviously. So you know what? You know what I'm thinking? We have to go to the Spotify offices in New York City, and we gotta get a deal with them. They gotta sign us.
Yeah, if they do like a background check on me, they'll kick me out of the fucking door. They'll be like, "Damn, this is Joe Rogan #2." Not what Joe Rogan did, but just kind of just how I just don't really like care for the PC stuff.
We just gotta talk to Daniel Ek. He said he's all about freedom of speech because if he had to kick off Joe Rogan, he said then I have to kick off all the rappers on Spotify for what they say too.
I
So
mean,
he's about speaking your truth.
yeah, crazy times. Like so much like shit comes at you all the time. You kind of forget about the little things, like Joe Rogan being canceled, the whole Spotify debacle, all that like different like shit. I'm quitting. The whole like staff wanting to leave and stuff like that. I think that those type of trends are slowly dying, but there's also the positive balance. So Yeah,
we can talk about that because
I
I was
know.
gonna get into it too, but
It's just gonna be too much ranting, right?
yeah.
I could care less, to be honest. I keep a neutral stance to all that stuff because I just don't have the patience. Like I let other people worry about it. They have
Yeah.
the time and the money to do it. We
Ben
got Obi to
Shapiro.
worry about, not motherfucking Spotify and Joe
Yeah.
Rogan, which is some of my favorite content on there. It's crazy you got that deal signed too, man. They got crazy bank on there to be throwing it at creators. Interesting though.
Crazy. They need to throw some our way, bro. There's not they need a big they have the big hip hop, they have the big everything podcast with Joe Rogan. They have Complex, they have other podcasts, but they don't have one for house music, bro. House music is deep.
Yeah, that's true. The funny part, I mean, I think that the pod game for house music is like still growing. That's why it's great. Like we're in it right now, or just kind of electronic dance music. Not even I don't want to say
Yeah, yeah,
EDM.
yeah.
Electronic dance music like pods. There's like
Yeah.
big like you got the Mixcloud pods. You got the Resident Advisor pods, right? Resident Advisor is like so boring. It sounds like I don't know, like going to court in Germany. It's just like tell me not. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know what you mean. I know what you
It's just
mean. The
like it's so
monotone
like
voice.
mad monotone, like and then like it sounds like 1010 wins, like the microphones.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
then you just like it's not. I don't even want to like listen to it. Like some of the interviews, like people don't even want to be on there. I
And
listened to the
today on
interview.
Resident Advisor, we have Fortet. And Fortet hails from Chicago, and he's been a staple in the game for Fortet. Welcome to the show. Love to have you here. So, how has your season been this summer? It just puts me to sleep, man.
Yeah, you see, I got
Puts
sleepy.
me
You've
to
been
sleep.
hearing that.
I know. I got sleep. I got sleepy myself. I was like, oh my
I
god.
think yeah, and I think there's I think Dancing Astronaut, that blog had one too. That kind of died
It,
out quick.
oh yeah.
It's crazy the explosion that happened in 2012 and how much like I guess little nicking of
Shit died out.
content like no, it blew up. 2012 was the explosion, and then like
No, but I'm saying like
yeah,
it died out
people
after.
were making money, like making tons of money on this shit, tons, like all this EDM,
Mhm.
like Afrojack, all this stuff, getting $1 million a show, $2 million a show, some of them, you know what I'm saying? And then there was
That's
these
crazy.
little blogs that built around it, these little communities that built around it, especially in New York. Like
Yeah.
what was that group called Sunday Schoolers? You know what I'm saying? Moon
Oh,
Man Media, bro, like all that shit. But even like
terrible.
Dancing
We know. We
Astronaut.
know. We met a journalist that was
Oh,
that was.
not the BPM journalist. Oh,
Yeah,
hell no, bro.
I forgot what she wrote for.
Uh, Not Resident Advisor. It wasn't Mix Mag. It was like one, like
No,
a little bit like something
no.
smaller.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. Was it something called EDM Junkie or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and like interviewing like Hector, like a DJ from like Mexico. Like what the fuck?
Yeah,
Oh no, oh no, it's Carlo Leo. I think she's gonna interview. He's from Canada.
yeah.
He's a cool cat though, so I mean, it's worth the interview to give.
Oh
And
yeah, oh yeah.
it's just exposure for them back then. Now it's kind of like there's an interesting thing that they're saying now, like how some DJs are like very like pompous and they'll even like share a flyer for a party. They'll just show up type shit. I think that kind of that mentality. I see a lot more sharing flyers, so what parties are going to be playing at. But in terms of like an interview or in terms of like releasing podcasts or anything like that, really some people are just kind of just gave up. You know what I mean? Also, like it's been years of this stuff. They've been kind of like the curators of releasing these podcasts for a long time, like Drum
Mm,
Code Radio, that's been around since like who knows, like 2009,
a long time.
2010, right? It hasn't exhausted its kind of interest. People still listen to it. I think it's still going. And then you had
Yeah, it is.
CLR that was going for a super long time. Pasha had their own. Um, some clubs had their own. Like Space is cool because Space Miami releases sets that they have on the terrace, on their Spotify. I mean, not Spotify, SoundCloud.
SoundCloud.
You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. But like in terms of DJs curating their own content, in terms of like DJ sets, that kind of died. And now
Yeah,
the
why is that?
investment, because it goes into Instagram, social media, right? Let me make a fire post. Let me make a, uh, you know, whatever the hell, good story. And likewise, I think they transferred the pod game to more of like live sets. So they'll like release,
Oh
they'll
yeah,
do it like a studio, like a Mix Mag studio, something like that. Even I forgot what was the name of those Mix Mag pop-ups. It wasn't Mix Mag Live.
Mixmag Lab.
Mix Mag Presents, I
Lab.
think.
No,
Oh
Mixmag
yeah,
Lab.
Lab.
They still
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it. Like
I
if they
don't know
do
if
it
that's
in London,
they
they do
still
it.
do it.
In London, they always do it. Yeah.
But they used to always throw it over here somewhere in New York. They used to throw it all around, LA, or there'd be like a dope showcase coming, for that DJ.
Yeah.
They would have a little like intimate hour with them.
Yep.
Like Boiler Room is kind of still going. I think the most popular one right now is the Freddie again. That one like really blew up. That's more of like a DMB mix with hip hop, kind of like I don't
Yeah.
know what he plays, but it's
Yo,
crazy.
I think the pandemic shook everything up because I feel like everything feels different now. There's a lot of new parties and a lot of new DJs. The older ones are still holding down their big, events in their big showcases in Ibiza, but like a lot of I like the past couple of years, I'm like, when are these young talented guys gonna like really come up and blow? And I think this year they've really like blown up this year.
Yeah, I think that gatekeeping the gate got broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think the social media helps that because if you have big following and they want to buy your tickets, that's what the club owners care about,
Well, I'll put it this
bring it
way.
here.
I think that I figured it out just now. The big guys during the pandemic were scared to get canceled, right? So they were scared, they would be so outed right away. You're a pandemic DJ. You're, I don't know what the nickname for them was, like COVID raver, some bullshit that they gave him, like a little adjective or a little title that they used to give these DJs. I forgot the name though. It was really funny, the name they used to give them. But they used to remember there was a Twitter that would record it and release the parties that would go on. Like so corny.
Mm-hmm.
But basically they were scared to get canceled. They wouldn't promote any of this stuff. And they were scared to get canceled. So the big guys kind of kept quiet for a year and a half. They had the funds to do so. They did little things here and there. They started like their own little passion projects, like WAF, video game channel, shit like that, or releasing more music. I think a lot of music was released during that time. But then the little guys didn't give a shit, right? Or kind of the up and coming dudes, they didn't give a fuck. So they got together, whatever money you could scrounge up together, threw a party, released more music, got their exposure out to the local crowds. Like just in the UK specifically, they had a whole bunch of kind of those underground raves during the pandemic and like the fields or like some warehouse or stuff like that. Even here in New York, a lot of DJs threw like underground parties, but those are the ones that were like kind of existing. But you really didn't see like a Camelo or well, really I would just say like a Camelo or a Fun Flex like at like one of these like underground parties. It'd be more kind of like the guys that are in the middle tier, if you want to call them that.
Yeah,
and like kind of same thing happened there. The middle tier DJs didn't really care. Okay, but you post me on your Twitter. Who cares? I would not give a fuck. I get it. It's scary times. If you live on your own, you're a young adult. You're entitled to your own decisions. Like that's it's up to you at that time. And a lot of things just switched up in terms of the rules they had, the approaches that they had on a global scale in terms of the pandemic. But whatever. That whole Twitter. I wonder if that Twitter page still exists. I really want to find it.
No, the account got suspended.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Because I forgot what reason it was, but I think they were saying like wild things, and it went against Instagram and Twitter's terms of service, so the account got suspended. I think it was a doxing thing. They might have doxed somebody.
Bro, they doxed mad people, bro. It was so corny. Like I hated seeing that. It's like there were so many underground parties around the world because some people just either their life is the party and you have nothing else to live for. I remember even here, right? Everything shut down for 2 months. Then April came, May, they opened the slushy bars, right? And then people pull up in like a foreign or a rental, and then they'll be like a DJ, DJing by the slushy bar, and they'll get like an alcoholic slushy you could drink in the street, Yeah. So then that would go down. Like, and people don't have anything else kind of in terms of their interest or doing it. So they'll be just a party go and they look for that fun, all the time. And like, that time kind of stagnated everything. So it's like kind of interesting. It shifted. So the middle tier, if you want to call them that, kind of got into like the upper middle tier, started getting involved, started getting invited to a lot of different parties, started, building a big following because, they had a local engagement, probably wherever they lived at. And then they built their own interest into what they're looking to, what their current passion was, right? DJing, producing, whatever they could really do.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I think they probably were also just producing a lot of fucking music, because a lot of new music came out from new guys this summer.
Even think about it. That guy Bibby went to like some beach in South America and like hid there for a few months, and then he just like released some of his best music.
Yeah.
Which was which was super dope. He had a lot of like Wu-Tang influences, like Latin songs, like salsa songs that he kind of he made originals out of and got a clearance on. So like he released some of his best music. Even Solid Grooves themselves, they did, and some of these kind of kept on that interest too with Twitch streams. Like Chris Liebing had the Rave Cave, and like he had a dope setup. There's some party goers. Like the biggest winner out of all that shit was Jonathan Peters. Remember, he had the subscription. First, he did it on Facebook, then he did it on fucking Twitch, and then he had like some subscription-based app.
Were people paying?
Yeah, $10 a month. He wanted. He wanted $10 a month, and he would stream every Saturday.
Oh, were they paying for it?
Yeah, $10.
No. But do you think he had like a lot of people paying for it?
I think so. His demographic is like older people, like in their 40s, and 50s. Like,
is he still doing it?
I think he stopped. Like he did his last one because now he's getting gigs again. So like he pretty much stopped that, or he does one once in a while. But I think like a lot of people like enjoy doing that, sitting home listening to Jonathan Peters, like showing their little kids this, seeing their little kids like dance to it and stuff like that. Something that was a part of their life, big time for a long time.
Yeah. So where has he last played?
Well, HQ.
Really?
Yeah, HQ and AC. So he had like Jonathan Peters in the day and Jonathan Peters at night. So the day
and night.
You play outdoors, and honestly, like looking at the videos, there's a huge turnout. Like it's huge. Like I learned that just not to go to those parties because no disrespect to my older ravers, but it is just washed up, that fucking party, bro. It's washed. And like you feel like you're washed if you're at that party. Once a year doesn't hurt though. You could be 50, 60, 70. If you want to go, you go do it. I respect it. It's just not my age group. I'm not gonna go and waste my time there. I've been to I went to dig in the crates like 3 times. And it was a great time. It was a good mixed crowd, but kind of just like you look around, you're like, oh shit, like fuck. What the hell's going on over here,
Even for me, it's a little too old.
For DJ Unk. Nah, but he had a great turnout, right? Like, it kind of brings the question, like, when is it time to hang it up? Is there a time to ever really hang it up in the rave, right? Like, I watched a good documentary about it called Geriatric Ravers.
No, really?
Yeah, it's Geriatric Ravers on Vice. I think I shared it.
Oh, yeah. You sent it. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. So then you have, like, these, like, 62-year-old dudes doing, like, speed. Then they had the other dude that was, like, a big promoter in London. To this day, he is, still, doing, pretty intense drugs, drinking alcohol every night, always looking for the next party. Then you have, like, that sad case of, like, a loner who was, smoke weed.
Yeah, that was sad. That was sad.
Drugs, and he was just all alone. You go to the pub and, like, look for more kind of younger crowd that's kind of down with those type of things. So it kind of brings the question, like, when do you hang it up? Like, do you hang it up? Do you never hang it up for the love of the music, or do you never, or you don't stop hanging it up because you're addicted to, hard substances, right? And like, it's interesting to see, right? I really don't think the Jonathan Peters crowd anymore is the hard stuff anymore. Like, literally, there's no other parties that would interest you, anyways. That nowadays that exist, right? You really have, there's no classics parties going on anymore. Like that's completely like wiped out. Like classics used to have at least like a staple twice a year or once a year, and people would anticipate the location all year as to when it's going to happen. Like it still maintained its interest, and now kind of it's completely gone. It really stays with that generation. That classics for me, I'm a big fan of classics. Right, all the productions I think are one of the best productions done historically. They're all done on analog machines, etc. But yeah, I mean we could talk about that in a different topic. But in reality, when's the time to hang it up? Like, I don't know what you think. Is there a
The
time to hang it up?
party goers or the DJs?
Well, no. So DJs, is there ever a time to hang it up? But think about it. I would say no, because
Yeah.
you work till you're 67. And you could retire as a regular employee somewhere.
Yeah.
What difference does it make for a DJ? So if you're an airline pilot, they're moving the age from 65 to 67. So what's the fucking difference? Because you travel more. You travel as a DJ and you're at a party, but you're doing your job. You're DJing.
Mm-hmm.
But the party goer, right? Because DJs eventually grow out of that phase of like getting mangled while you DJ, or you take it very serious and it becomes a job to you, and you want to deliver the best you can to keep your relevancy, to keep your interest with your crowd. So I guess the topic would be, when do you think it's do older party goers stay there because of drugs or love of the music, and is there age for them to stop, the hard substances, or for a party goer to stop going to the music?
So for older party goers, I think, when should they hang it up? I don't think there is an age when they should hang it up, but there definitely is a type of party that they should hang up. Like if I'm 50, am I going to go to an EDM party, even if I liked it? Like, are you going to see me at a party that's playing EDM at a Brooklyn Mirage, or even an El Row party in New York City at 50? Am I going to go to that? Because it's going to be a lot younger crowd. So I think as you get older, you start finding those parties that have like a little bit of older crowds, like, Music On, Paradise. It also depends on where you are, because in New York, the crowds, I feel like, are a little bit younger. But if you go to Europe, let's say now you go to Greece, parties in Greece, those crowds are much older. Some parties, I'm guessing, in Ibiza are much older than others, like a Music On party, or even like a Luciano and Friends party. That crowd is going to be older. But definitely, if you go to like these super bougie parties in Greece, those parties, I think, if you look good, if you're not like worn down or anything, but if you look good, you dress nice, you still got a little bit of swag, you can be 55 and hang out at some of those parties. But you can't be at a dance floor. You got to have a table in the section at that age. But yeah, but I think as you get older, the parties start to get a little bit smaller, more intimate, and you spend more money.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, is it worth it for example, like Jonathan Peters to hang up classics, right? I think no, right? Because it kind of equals to like a concert. Because if you think about it, there's the Rolling Stones still touring at almost the age of 80, and there's concert goers, in that age group that go to 50. So what difference does it make for a Jonathan Peters to throw a classics, right? Exactly. Like, what's the difference in the association of the 70s and like the hard substances and the drugs that all the people did, that all the bad stuff that they really did, versus just in the 90s and the hard substances that were associated to that music, if you will. So people have that association, but in reality, this music is it's just music. It's also a concert that he had Jessica Folkler performing live. So it's really like a concert for both, right? I mean, day and night is kind of crazy. Either gives two options to the party goers, or it's a marathon, and some of these older cats gonna be on a marathon kind of a bender, if you will. Or if you just there to enjoy the music, you're kind of on the music bender. But yeah, I think really there is no age to hang it up for a party. Yeah. For a party goer, you pick and choose.
I like that analogy you made with the Rolling Stones still touring, and people that age, in their age range, still going to those concerts. And it's true. Why is it that when it comes to DJs and party or club goers or patrons going to a club or a party, why is it like, oh, you're too old to go to a party? But if I went to a concert at 55 or 60, that would be fine. Why? Because I'm sitting down? Or like a rock concert, they're not sitting down. They're up, they're dancing. Even hip-hop now, because you got the older hip-hop guys like, Locks, guys we came up with, Jay-Z. They can have concerts too. And people our age or older go to those now too. and that's fine. But something with house music or electronic dance music, if you are older, it's like, oh, you going to a club? Like, yeah, who made a rule that you can't go to a place that's indoors to listen to music or outdoors to listen to music? So stupid. These like boxes people put everybody in. You can't do this at this age. You can't do that. Or people like, what I hate the most is when it's mostly girls that say this. Where they post on Instagram like, "Oh, everybody's out in the club and I'm here in my PJs watching TV." Okay, old lady, like, so watch TV. Why are you saying it like the people going out are bad and you're better because you're in pajamas watching TV? Who cares? Let them go out. They're having fun.
Yeah, it's pompous. Like, you can't equate to living your life to like going to a club or anything. I think life's all about various different experiences and doing stuff like that. If you enjoy laying in your bed in your PJs, good for you. But you having some level of, I guess, what's the word, of pompousness around it, saying, "Oh, look at me, I'm in my house." Like, what does that do? What does that prove to me? Like, good for you. Why you tell me you're in your house? You're in your PJs every Monday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like Saturday, Sunday. Like, oh, you're there on a Saturday? Good for you. Like, get some good rest for the next work week you got or some bullshit. But just to go back to your point, you know what I think the difference is? The energy. The energy is very intense with house music. I think it's like even with EDM, it's a very intense energy. I think with rock too, like with heavy metal, I've been like watching some old concert from like Judas Priest, which is my favorite band.
Oh, wild.
It's such a crazy intense energy as well. So is even the Stones, like, holy shit, they're like one of the best like performers in history, to me at least, in terms of in that genre. To this day they're still moving like they were 20. It's fucking crazy to me.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a whole topic to be said about, all the blood transfusions they got in Switzerland and all the crazy different like treatments they got, to get over their drug addictions and kind of like live a long life. Probably had some like, organ transplants or whatever, because there's no way to be a heroin addict.
Stem cells,
whatever the hell they got to be moving like that. But I think with the house music scene, I think this happens so much really in like New York. I really just gotta say, I feel like we hate on New York so hard in this pod, but it really is like in New York. It's kind of just like, oh, you're still doing this, you're still there, you're still partying. I'm here, with I sit at home instead, or it's looked down upon to be at the party, or if there's an older person at the party, they kind of put down, like they'll be recorded, make a story out of them on Instagram. Like with house music, not so much. Like a hip hop club, you see like a 55-year-old dude trying to have a good time, they were like record him because he's like dancing or doing something. Like older people doing something and living their life. Like, they say you're supposed to have your inner child in you until you die. If you lose that, then you become, miserable. And, when you see other people dancing and having fun, people record it and make it like a phenomenon, but it's just them being themselves. Like, you just in an older body, thank God you can still move and do the moves that you want. But I think just going back to the house music scene, the association is always with hard drugs to it. Rock. I guess kind of that association kind of got hidden under the rug over time, right?
Yeah, under the rug. Yeah,
very definitely. Big time. And now kind of, record labels pump so much money into like cleaning up the act of certain things. With hip hop, I mean, it's so sad how many artists have passed this year through the drugs, but the energy is intense, but it's not as intense. I think house music brings a very intense energy. It's very crowded. It's very like something that like when you get a certain age, you get sick of. But going back to the topic of like having like a concert, treating it like that, and doing it once a year, once every 4 months, once in a while, why not? You know what I mean? And like, it's not such a big phenomenon for you to go and like enjoy as a party goer. And like you said, you pick and choose. You're not going to be going to Afrojack at Izu when you're 50. You're going to hit up Jonathan Peters or something that you enjoyed in the past or whatever attracted you to that music. If you love Afrojack, then you can only see my Izu. You go to that. But I think as you get older, you kind of get sick of those kind of intense crowds that come with it as well. The pushing and shoving and all this bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
But then some people don't know how to hang it up in terms of the hard substances side of it as well. That kind of goes into like the 30s, their 40s, their 50s, constantly fighting some certain demon they have. And like house music is always accepting of, all walks of life, old, young, whatever race, religion, background you are. And that's why you see a lot of people that kind of trek along those type of trails in their life, it really has association because house music kind of, you can have it, nobody will blink an eye. If you go to after hours, you see a 60-year-old dude, nobody's gonna be like, okay, like that's the homie. Like I saw a guy, he was like 60 at after hours doing crazy shit, So it's doing crazy shit. Like I saw a bunch of old guys there. Some guy near in like his 70s, like they're like popping bottles at afties, So I think people should hang it up and learn moderation as they get older. Pick and choose their parties. That's my opinion, though, right? You're entitled to whatever you want to do. But I think that the general thing out of this entire topic that people should take away is it really doesn't trickle down to just because it's house music, you can enjoy it like as if it was a concert. Treat it like a concert for yourself, and if it's just once in a while, then once in a while. If it's all the time, then it's all the time for you. There shouldn't really be any type of putting down of people around this type of like behavior.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I remember when I was growing up and even like around 25 years old, again, it's always girls. Girls would say, oh, you still go out? Like, I don't go out anymore. Like, why do you still go out? Like, why not? First of all, we're only 25. What are you talking about that you don't go out anymore? Okay, good. So, do whatever you like. Read a book, stay home, take a walk. That's fine. But what's wrong with going out to listening to some music? But I do agree with like the shoving and the pushing and the super packed. Like that I can't do anymore. Like I just can't do. I prefer now. Jerry used to tell me all the time. Like when I used to invite him out, like 3 years up, like as far as 3 years ago. I want to be inside a club, packed club, dark. He's like, I'd rather go out when it's nice outside and go to an outdoor party. And then I think the last time I went to an indoor club, I just thought like, oh no, I can't do the pushing. And even when the club is not packed, you still have people bumping into you and shoving. It's like, bro, there's tons of space. Why are you still bumping into me? I was never that person that got drunk and was bumping into everybody. I'm always aware of like my surroundings. So I hate, and I don't know why fucking guys
Are you
out
sure
there
about that?
Boom, boom. Well, maybe not all the time, 100%, yeah. But 90%, I'm aware. But yeah, I do prefer now, more like the outdoor shit, a rooftop. But if it's a good party in the winter, I'll go. I don't put myself in a box.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm 29, nearing my 30s, and I'm also kind of, I don't mind. I'm still kind of like, don't have that type of like, oh, I don't want to deal with it if I want to go see an artist, but I get sick of it. I like the pushing and shoving, kind of like being herded like cattle. That's what I call it, right? Like the security pushing you to one side of a line. That's why I always try to get a table, right? But I'm not like Warren Buffett trying to spend that all the time. If it's not worth it for like a random party to do it. But I think that, I hate that kind of like herding of the cattle, like move to one side,
Yeah.
Get on this
you're an
line.
adult, right?
Yeah, like don't like,
you're an adult.
get
like,
out of here.
You treated me like a kindergartner, like move to this side of the line, move to that. Have your IDs out. Like, shut the fuck up. I have my ID in my pocket. When I get to the front, I'll give it to the fucking bouncer. But they treat everybody in that line like these are like 15-year-olds at a teen bash.
But like in theory, some of them are, you know what I mean, and they don't know how to act, or they're already twisted, or like the city's like full of. The city never really grows up. Like people in their 30s, like they kind of like still live, like they live like they're in their 20s still. That's completely fine, right? And like it won't stop. Whatever scene you're in, whether it's the jazz scene or art scene or house music scene, hip hop scene, Latin club scene, if you will, kind of like uptown scene. There's so many different scenes in the city. The city never really grows up because there's so much shit to do. So I mean, you could always find like-minded people that like to do the same shit as you in your age group. So if you like to go out and enjoy certain things, you could do it whatever age group you are. But with house music is a little bit different because you get packed like sardines and shit. Like that's why I don't like Brooklyn Mirage. I fucking hate it there. Like I can't stand it because it's like a warehouse. You feel me? Like literally, it is a fucking warehouse on steroids. Yeah. But I'm saying like kind of that treatment, kind of like factory work. Like, get in this fucking line. Are you general admission or are you guest list? Are you on the table? No? Get over here. type of wristband. Then you pack like sardines and you're walking like this on every single section, you know. Then you go to a
Yeah.
section that's loose, or you kind of like, you know, get into the VIP section because you know the bouncer, and then you're standing there, and then the sound's horrible, and you're like, all right, well, I have my peace of mind. Now I can listen to the music, what I came here for, you know.
Mhm.
So like it kind of goes down to you saying more intimate parties, more intimate vibes. I mean, it really just varies. It's really a highly debatable topic, right? I'm sure some people disagree,
Mhm.
right? Because it's such a unique scene and type of people that enjoy this music, right? Because you brought friends in the past and they're like, oh, fuck this shit. I don't like this. It's uns every 2 seconds. I don't want to listen to this.
Yeah.
But then you have, you know, the friends that fall in love with it and they never stop. And they get, you know, they go beyond even yourself in terms of their like engagement and love for the music. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's
Well,
interesting.
that's kind of one of the reasons we're building what we're building, man, because we're trying to build that. We're trying to make Albany that party that's like, you know, still fucking fire, like a music on, still has the heart of, you know, people that are young that still want to go out, but you know, it's a nice, sexy, cool, non-pretentious crowd. So like, I guess you know, it's a veteran in the game. They know how to party, but they still want to party. They're not acting crazy. They're not stumbling over, and everybody's just having fun. So it's like a music on, but with, you know, music on. When I say music on, I mean, what do you call it? Like the maturity of that type of
A
party.
mature party, yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, that's what it is, right? I mean, you know, the sardine thing is inevitable, right? To happen anywhere you
Hmm.
go, depends on what the venue is, but the treatment of the patron is like really what the half the experience is. Like, you
Yeah.
know, I would refuse to even like let somebody like, you know, do security or run the door that would talk and say single line, IDs out. Like, no,
Yeah.
that's like, you know, I'm either trying to pump
Meat
them off the
factory.
street too, right? There's also like there's a reason for it because you don't want to get police involved and like the police know the party's happening, right? Like the precinct probably knows about the
Hmm.
spot already. Probably got reported to already from like a local house. People are walking by drinking the beer and shit, but they want to just clear them off the street and have it quick and seamless for them. But I refuse to kind of even throw a party that, you know, that would still treat the patron like that. I don't care about what the fuck's going on with the police. There's other shit to worry about than
Yeah.
the people standing in the line, if you will. But yeah, no, it's definitely a mature party. None of these rules. None of you have to have a table to enjoy yourself. Everyone's gonna have, you know, equal treatment, equal fun.
Hmm.
No age group or the you know, deciding factor. Plus, the music's a bit more mature, I guess, if you will. You
Yeah.
won't have like kind of like the random, I don't know, for lack of a better term, like a Chad, like just twisted off his tits there, like it twisted off his tits there, like just like, you know, stumbling upon people, like kind of shoving people all messed up, you know. And there'll be no
Yeah.
tolerance for that type of like treatment of other patrons. You feel me? You want
We
to show
need
like,
Dave. We have. Yeah. We want to have Dave Grutman style hospitality. Where's the
no,
bathroom?
exactly, yeah,
We'll walk you over there. Yeah.
yeah, whoever's working the party, whether it's a friend, me, you, security, like you just say, number one rule is customer experience. You want to see what the bathroom is, don't point at it. Walk that person to it, for example. Or if somebody asks you for water, you don't tell them, "Oh, I only got water bottles." You use the little whatever nozzle that you have, the pressurized nozzle.
Yeah.
Give them a
Yeah.
cup of water. You know, water should be free. I think
Yeah.
that's a good idea to add.
That's a big fucking thing, right? Because they won't do that for you at any like venue that I've been to. They won't. You say, "Can I have water?" Or they will, or they're like, they're annoyed about it.
Yeah, I mean now it got a little bit more looser. They're more open to do so. With the Travis Scott thing that happened, all the people dying at
Oh yeah,
concerts, they're a bit more open. They make a very big emphasis on any of these festivals that there's a
yeah. They free water
water
stands. Yeah,
station, EDC, water station,
yeah.
DMF or movement, they call it now, water
Hmm.
station, IZU, water station, right? But
Yeah.
clubs, right?
Clubs. I'm
Clubs.
talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
they always
no, I mean, it
annoyed.
depends where you go, right? Like, they won't say buy a water bottle. I mean, plus they do give you like shitty tap. Like Pasha would be like the biggest culprit of this shit. They'll not give you a cup of water for nothing. Nothing.
Stupid, stupid.
They would just knock you over your head. They'll tell you $8. You could be literally dying there, like, oh please. Man, they wouldn't help you. People were drinking sink water, like that sink water is disgusting. Probably gave everybody some type of like disease. Hey, I can't lie. I drank it before. I took a sip of it before, and it was disgusting. I couldn't stomach it. I hate tap water from New York. I always buy or even the filter or buy my own water, so I can't imagine it. Some of that water that's pressurized in there, I just feel like it's a little bit better. It's cold, right? Get rid of a little bit of bacteria in it, and just give it. If you need it, who cares if it's from the sink or not? If you need it, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, right? They won't be like chastising for who you are. If you're gonna be getting a little lit, you're doing your own little favorite party favorites. It's gonna be like going crazy for it. There's things should be like a little rule, like a little line, like enjoy yourself, respectfully, right? With discretion.
Yeah.
You want to drink how much you want.
It's what I don't want to say that I want OBRI to be like this, but I think they do it the best. But the BPM Festival, even though they have different showcases and brands, all those brands still are like the vision of what BPM is, because BPM is still one whole vibe. Whether you're at a Luciano party, Carl Cox party, music on, Bandidos, Vatos Locos, it still feels like that one vibe under BPM, right? Like the vibe doesn't really change, even though it's different brands throwing these showcases. You still know, like, I'm at BPM, but at Paradise. I'm at BPM, but I'm at Music On. But it's still a cohesive vibe there. I don't know what magic they've done, like how the fuck they were able to fucking do that and put that together. But like that's how I want OBRI to be, like that fucking fly, dope vibe. It's kind of, how you can go to a hip hop party and some hip hop parties are like, okay, this is a fucking dope vibe. There's no hood shit. It's just super sexy. It's good music, good people. Like I want our party to be like that.
Yeah, the hospitality just
right.
The same cups, the same liquor is being served, the same prices. They don't vary on the certain label thrown the party. The consistency across the board, right? That's important, right? I think greed overtakes a lot of the customer experience, right? You want to maximize profit as much as you can. And people go there for the artist, but the venue will fuck them, Like I think one of them that really does do it a lot is like tech support. Like you get a warehouse party, like that, like somewhere, in Bushwick or the Brooklyn Navy Yard, little Dixie cup of drinks that's $17. With low shelf, kind of Jose Cuervo for tequila or vodka, Tito's, etc. And then water is also expensive, and the VIP is like a corner somewhere, and like you maximize profits for the DJ. Sure, you got to fit all these people in there, but if you think back, output definitely had a certain capacity. It was packed like sardines, but still it was like a through and through vibe. They still were able to fit whatever they can in there. They're just to maximize as much profit as you can. Like the sound was never really good either, in my opinion. Like that's it's kind of this maximizing profits kind of approach to it. But they have a great booking agent. They kind of they know what they're doing there, and they are making the money, and they can afford some of these bookings. Ricardo Villalobos, Marco, any of these guys that they host on Superior Ingredients, or some of the showcases they throw for Halloween, or doing collabs with Circle Loco. And they kind of make the job easier for these labels to come to the United States, or event brands like Circle Loco in order to throw a party. You feel me?
One way to get around needing to maximize profit, because you have to pay the DJ, a huge amount of money, is because, okay, what do these people like tech support? What do these groups do? They have to sell tickets. If they want to throw a big party, they have to bring a big DJ name. They have to pay that DJ big bucks to sell, because that name draws a lot of ticket sales. Now, how can you get away with doing a party where you don't have to just worry about maximizing profits, but you still get a lot of people coming to that party? It's building a brand, right? And having DJ like me, you, and maybe two other guys that end up joining our squad. We are the brand, right? So we'll get paid somehow. So we don't have to pay a DJ fee. And even if we bring two other DJs for the night, for the lineup, they're not going to be big time DJs. They're going to be good DJs that don't need to sell tickets because we built the brand. The brand sells the ticket, and they trust our brand that it's going to be a great party with great fucking music. So that's the way you get around that. And I think that's definitely what Desert Hearts did. That's what they still do. That's how they can sell tickets for 99 cents, or was it $1.99 they were doing the other day for like their festival. And tickets to their parties are not expensive because all the DJs are under the brand. So they're paying themselves from, the party. It's not like they have to pay a big DJ fees. So you build an amazing brand, and then you have great DJs, but that are not big names. And hopefully we get big with the brand, that we can go on to get booked at other parties, and that's where we charge the big money.
Yeah, and you could invest that money back into the brand, of course. You know what I'm
exactly.
But
back in.
So that's also, it brings you to a crossroad, right? What type of how you want to get your exposure, right? You could keep throwing parties, right? And using our model, which I strongly believe in, and we should do it this way, which is pop-up parties. I guess we gotta kind of pop out some stickers soon, spread them out when we do these pop-ups as well. And, showing a good party, especially when we do a debut inside of a formal venue, which will be important. But sometimes, you need that exposure for, to build your brand, to bring in a big name that will attract people, to show them the experience of the party, of how you envisioned it, right? Of course, you can bring that on with a slow burn like we're doing. But I think that's what happens to a lot of brands. That's really the point I'm getting at. Some brands are going to take that model, which is, it works, right? If I invite Mike Bibby, right, to DJ at an OBRI party, and he's gonna be just throwing down, and people love Mike Bibby, but we do an OBRI style. We invite him to a certain venue, we rent out, we give the kind of the mantra and the approach that we just discussed for them. They'll know, oh, these OBRI guys really do it the right way, and they would go there to experience the party because of the big name. And I think a lot of brands go down that route because they want to expose it that way, get that following. So when you say I have OBRI Presents, and then just like, me, right? DJ name question mark. Danny Velz, DJ, right? And then just say two more guys, like a friend of ours like Mike Sullivan, or like, whomever, Nice Guy B, whoever it could be. They'll go there because the experience was so good at the first time, right? All the drinks were good. The vibe was fire. The hosts were mad cool. I just connected with them. They invited us to the next party. That's kind of the crossroad, we may be stuck in at one point if it's not growing rapidly enough. I believe in the model that we have, and we do, and I think a lot of brands did have this model, and it worked. Desert Hearts got it down to the T, right? But their DJ brand, individual brands, blew up as well, and the party kind of will go neck and neck with it. So we're kind of hoping to go down that indie path, right? I'll call it the indie path, right? Because kind of like bringing a DJ that's signing to a label, it's kind of the easy way out. And then you get greedy.
But they also bring guests, and like, I agree. We definitely, one day want to bring a guest like Mike Bibby, because it's like what you said. It's just like what podcasters do. So, let's say Joe Rogan invited us to his podcast. Now we get exposure to all his listeners. Some of those listeners might come back to our podcast because they like listening to us over there. They're like, oh, let me check out their podcast. And we might attract a bunch of those listeners that become now our listeners. And it's the same thing. We invite Bibby to DJ one of our parties. And, out of the 1,000 people that came, maybe 300 of those loved the experience. And then they're like, well, let me check out their party when they just do their event without any guest DJs. Oh, shit, I really like this party. So, it's the same thing. It's like kind of like sharing leads, like sharing fans. So, that's definitely a way to grow. And I definitely want to do that too. Hell yeah.
I think, but it kind of goes to show like some brands get the little flavor of bringing the big guy in, making like a ton of money. They say, holy shit, this is like a walk in the park. I got that exposure. They know my brand already. I'm going to fucking flip the script. I'm going to charge at the door. I'm going to overprice the drinks. I'm going to knock you over the head. I'm going to give you little cups. I'm going to, that's it. The sound, who cares? I'll fucking get a couple of shitty speakers that I DJ. on Horace Harding, and then the DJ doesn't care. He's getting his fee, and he's getting probably you're accommodating his rider, and that's it. So what I'm saying is we want to avoid that, right? But I see why some people do that and where the greed comes from. And like for me, we both make money in our own ways. So this is really
that's the thing. This is not
by the people for
we're
the
not
people.
trying to do this. Yeah, we're not trying to do this to make money. Like that's not even in our. We're not even like if that happens, that's great, but that's not what we're doing it for. So
exactly. I think that's
the main difference. Yeah,
it should be like a little a mini script, like a little text on the bottom. We're not trying to make no money on this shit.
Yeah, but a lot of times when people do that, that's when they build the best shit, and then you ultimately end up making money just because you focus on the product.
No, that's why. Yeah, I believe in that. You can apply that model to a lot of different shit, right? I mean, you definitely know some things that you're working on. So, yeah, I think it's important. I think it's important that we kind of share that sentiment that we have for OBRI. I mean, yeah, and even speaking of that, right? We have two things we want to 3 goals we want to accomplish really soon, right? A, Washington Square Park pop up, probably riskiest move we've done so thus far, but we're here for it. Then we got the second element. We're gonna do another live stream at the studio, and then a third one. I think sometime around Christmas or maybe February. You don't want to do it in January, the slowest time. Maybe we do though, and throw our indoor venue, but also OBRI at our Basil.
Yeah, and I know that's a lot of shit, right? Like, because when we were talking about doing it and thinking about doing all these things, I know, inside I think like, yeah, we're gonna do it, but then when you start getting the yeses, and it's like, oh shit, we actually got to.
We're actually doing it. It's not like we're talking talking shit, and then we're like, yeah, we're gonna do this shit. This is the idea. I think the funny joke is about that is that we used to say shit like that. We'd be like, yo, me and you back to back at Music On opening, or some bullshit like that, and we just laugh about it as if it's for real. Like as if it was gonna happen or it's happening. We're gonna be as guests. They're invited there as guests. And then now it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna throw a pop up at Washington Square Park. All right, boom, it's gonna happen. Oh, we're gonna play at our Basil. That's already in the works, and it's gonna be a great explosion for us. Then we're gonna throw the indoor venue party. That's gonna be another exposure, right? For both DJ brand, for both OBRI brand, right? That's why I think the target we have by next summer, being something kind of in the game, or even a little droplet in the bucket, is so feasible. It's so possible. Yeah. Even that there's nothing that has happened since we have done a shit ton of stuff since the debut of it. But even with the little break that we have for a month in terms of not content, that will never stop. In terms of events, then, if you think about it, we slam right back into it, kind of really slam, and you're going kind of 3 for 3. And these are all lessons to be learned. Washington Square Park, we may get our shit taken away, we may get arrested. Seriously, right? Our Basil, I think that's going to be a success. If it's a bust, it's a lesson. The venue, might take an L on that. I don't see how. That might be the W. That's the most important thing, to be a W as well. We got to kind of think about the core approach, promotion, stuff like that. I think that's important. That should be next steps for the winter stuff. But yeah, I mean, we got a lot of shit going on. It's funny you said that, because we say we're gonna do it, and then we're like, yeah, we'll do it. It's gonna happen, and then we really are doing it though. It's not bullshitting.
I know.
That's the most important part. I think is doing it, consistency, getting it done. That's the key to success. Yeah. It's not hoping or begging for a way out from someone.
Yeah, and I think that's good, actually, because we could sit down and say, yo, let's do this party, and then just think about it and brainstorm, but never really go out there and try to get a venue. But actually getting it and not being ready, it forces you. It's just everything that we're doing. I take what I learned from building a product and a startup, and everything in the startup, when you're building a startup, is you're just building the plane while you're flying it, right? And you try not to make it crash, right? And you hope it's successful, and then you build the plane, and boom, it flies. But that's the only way you'll actually make the shit happen. You know, it's like, hey, need a venue. And it's like, oh shit, we got the venue. Now what? You know, and just fucking figure it out along the way. And we learn that way, and it makes it fun, and it puts pressure on us to really go out there and make it happen. But yeah, the promotion thing, I've been thinking about that too. I've been telling myself, me and Mike got to talk about, okay, we get the venue. First of all, like, what's the value prop to the people that are going to be coming? We don't just want to say, hey, we got this venue, come to the party. Like, make a theme. And I also had an idea, which I'm not sure it'll work with the venue, because they're definitely not going to allow us to bring our own outside bottles in. But I had an idea that every woman that comes to our event gets a free bottle of champagne. And, if it's 50 women, we buy those cases of champagne, but obviously not fucking Moet or anything like that. Like cases that, whatever, we'll talk money later, but, we could buy in bulk and we get it for a really good price. And I think that's a cool thing. And I heard that from somebody. I don't want to say where I got the idea from, but it worked. It worked for him. So I was just wondering if it would work for us. Like, but then I don't know. He rented out a big location, so they set up all their tables. If we have an event place, will they let us do that? And like, we can't. How would they just have a champagne bottle what if there's not enough tables or anything? So anyway, it's just a wild idea. But if we do a pop up on the outdoor thing again, like maybe in the spring or summer, we could definitely do something like that.
Yeah, bring like a jungle juice.
Recoup that.
Yeah, I mean, like a Washington Square Park. The crowd's not gonna be.
This will be kind of, I don't want to say ticketed event, but I want to charge a little something because we're buying those bottles of champagne. But I just thought it was interesting, and I heard it. This guy said it worked. So, but it was a whole different thing that they did.
Yeah,
So
I mean, yeah, no, that's a big offering now, like strip clubs and like hip hop clubs. Well, not anymore, because the game has changed tremendously. Now it's like ballers coming, girls coming for free no matter what. They choose the best table that they think, the biggest, highest, what's the word for it? Highest earning man or person or woman is there with the best opportunity for, said woman to go to. It's not really like, oh, hey, ladies, come. Every 4 ladies that come get a free bottle of champagne, right? It's a big model that's been used. It's not a bad idea, but I think a good idea too, which is kind of dope, is finding a venue that allows a BYOB, right? Because people get greedy. They want to make money on the bar, and you want to break even on your venue fee with the bar, which is kind of smart. But, just charge them a corking fee or some shit, something like that, $50, a bottle that you bring. Or, even like Washington Square Park, we'll bring like, 100 beers from like Costco and hand them out or some shit like that. It's kind of dope. People love free shit. Free shit is the key to people's hearts, If you give them a little keychain, they'll remember that shit for the rest of their life. So.
Yeah, but the free beer thing gave me an idea. Maybe we could find. Oh no, they don't even have to make the hard seltzers for us. But if, let's say we bought like a big, huge case, 100 hard seltzers, and we give them out for free, right? But we order labels with our logo on it and our Instagram handle, and put them on the cases. I'll put them on the actual can, and hand those out, and then it looks like it's our hard seltzer. Because we could design a label and then just stick it on ourselves.
Yeah,
but obviously
you don't want to do that, because when NYPD comes through.
Oh yeah, for the outdoor shit.
And then you got them on the red alert. You feel me? A few stickers here and there to hand out. Just say I'm a graffiti artist or lie about some shit, right? Well, they go to Instagram it. They have they've arrested people for less, for what they showed on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, well, if we ever rent out our own place, we can do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a future skate. I mean, landscape of things. I think,
Yeah.
now the focus is Washington Square Park, logistics, in and out,
Mm-hmm.
make it happen, get the content. I think the next step also is get like a drone. That'd be dope.
Oh yeah, drone. We gotta get that. Yeah, because that makes videos look dope. Like in the post production edit videos. Yeah, we need something like that. Yeah,
A
all right,
behind the
cool.
scenes too, recording of how we're setting up and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not gonna expose all of our plans because also,
Yeah,
what if somebody steals this shit?
yeah. I was supposed to do that when we went to the studio, like recording us going in, but I totally forgot because we were talking as we were walking in and looking around, and I totally forgot. But yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do that next time. So we got to get somebody that Shu should be doing that, bro. He can't just roll with us and fucking just chat with us. Get to work, bro.
Nah, he got some
Get it.
content for us, so we gotta give him his flowers. But yeah, I mean, we gotta throw a little bread in this, maybe a videographer for some of these things too, So like, you bring somebody that knows how to record and edit a movie for us and show off OBRI the right way. Like once we really get it like popping, you need like a videographer. Like there's so much investment in that now that I see at parties.
We get somebody that wants to be down with us. We get to you get exposure, bro. $3.99.
I mean, yeah, Angel List or whatever it's called, Angel.co.
We need an Angel.co for fucking music industry.
That's not a bad idea.
And somebody will hit us up like, "Oh shit, I see what you're doing. You got a content guy?" Like, nah, come on, do it for us.
Yeah, it's really important, the content. I mean, for now we're doing a good job.
Yeah. All right, bro. Yo, we did an hour and 11 minutes. I think that's good.
For sure.
Wrap it up. All right, bro. So we won't see you again for another 4 weeks. So go have fun in Ibiza. And
Now the pod will still go though. The pod will still go though.
Okay. All right. Yo, you can record a live, get on live when you have music on, like, hey, all the OBRI fans, I'm out here. We're about to do music on B2B OBRI next season.
Nah, it's my birthday. I'm not working on my birthday.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're going on your birthday to music on. All right, but you got to send me videos, man. I need to see.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, bro.
All right, bro. I'll talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, man. Give me 1 second. I just want to stop the recording. Stop that. All right, stop.